Yeah, if he gets mad, boy, we're all in deep doo-doo. I tell you. We are.
You say deep shit?
Yeah, yeah.
His temper just overtakes him.
Yeah, exactly.
So I forgot to, well, Rhonda did.
I was just gonna wing it. Like I've never done it.
I don't know which one she gives you.
I'll look and see. I can tell you.
I can tell you that wherever there's a note saying that there's no presentations, this one. There is now going to be one presentation for Maria's item for the third floor build out.
Oh, okay.
She will be giving a presentation.
Oh, yeah, it's this one here, right? It's in front.
Yes.
Yeah, this is mine here.
Okay. So,
This is one I get.
oh,
so.
this is the one for the
I
quacentennial.
did that. Closed session. Now I come back if I ask for another. There. That's where I'm at. So I'll leave that
And
out
then this
here.
one is for the quacentennial one.
Oh, for later.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay?
Beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sorry about that. She's on. I want anyone to know.
Did you see that card?
No, I hadn't. So, her daughter is 3 months pregnant, and they are going to take the baby. They're going to terminate the pregnancy because they found out that mom isn't producing enough I can't say that word, amniotic fluid for the baby's organs to develop. So, it's lungs, kidneys, and all that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Poor girl, man. Okay, honey. Thank you. And I love you, girl.
Love you too.
You look very nice today.
Thank you.
Yeah.
To work we go.
Yeah. We're ready, I guess, to get going here now. Sorry, folks, had a little longer closed session than we thought we might be. So have we got any reportable action from closed session, County Council?
Chairman, there are no reportable actions from today's closed session.
Okay, we're going to open and close anybody's memories that we can think of. Seeing none. Mr. Pastor Roger Leach from the Valley West Christian Center will do the invocation today. And let's see, Bill, you want to do the Pledge of Allegiance? You can do it from right there.
First of all, I want to thank you, Chairman and Board of Supervisors, for changing the logo. Looks great. I think I mentioned over a year ago that it looked like that we were in a tunnel that was in the backside. Now then we can see the sun, and I think that's a good future for Madera County. Now let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you today that we can come together and we can ask your blessing over the Madera County Board of Supervisors meeting. We ask that you continue to give them wisdom and just careful decisions that they make. Lord, I thank you for each one of them and their heart of servitude for our county. Lord, I thank you that you bless their families and watch over them, as well as all of the staff at Madera County. You continue to provide them health and strength. Lord, I thank you for good harvest, and I thank you for the future. Lord, today I know that later on they're going to be celebrating the past of 125 years, and again, remembering the first chairman of Henry Clay Dalton. Lord, we thank you for all of the history. We thank you for all of those that have really provided a backbone of this community. But Lord, I thank you for the future. And so we celebrate that, and we ask your blessing over that, and we pray that in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Roger and Bill, very much. Folks, this is our 125th birthday of Madera County, and the year's running out pretty fast, I'll tell you. So we're honoring the past, embracing the present, and looking ahead to the future. And so here's a little history that we got, if you can get it up on the board. In 1918, Madera, Merced, and Stanislaus counties created the Tri-County Tuberculosis Sanitarium on a 480-acre parcel where Wani Hills Regional Park now sits. The sanitarium started with 16 patients and eventually housed more than 100. Staff kept the farm animals and grew fruit and vegetables on the property. As techniques and medications were found to treat TB, the patient load declined. The sanitarium was closed in 1969. And I had a few friends that stayed in there when they were young, from North Fork, actually. So I forgot who the famous architect was that designed one of those buildings, and they saved that building. And it's one of these days they're going to restore it when they get some money for them to do that. But I can't think who the architect was. Anyway. Let's see, we're on item number 4. Oh, no, yeah, item number 4. Geez, I'm getting it close here. Public comment. Can you read that into that place, Ms. Sarah?
The first 15 minutes of each regular session is set aside for members of the public to comment on any item within the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. Items presented under public comment may not be discussed or acted upon by the board at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public is invited to comment at the time the item is called for consideration by the board. Any person addressing the board under public comment will be limited to a 3-minute presentation to ensure that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak. Any handouts to the board must be submitted to the chief clerk of the board for distribution to the supervisors. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium. Also, all persons addressing the board may state their name and county of residence for the record.
Thank you. First off, Mr. Matt Trieber.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to take a brief moment and to congratulate Deb Mahler from Community Economic Development. She has recently become a certified building official through the International Code Council, so I wanted to congratulate Deb on a lot of hard work and studying and getting that done. So just wanted to bring it to the board's attention.
Come on, you can say something here.
Well, I just want to thank you all. I've been the fire marshal for 10 years in January, so I really appreciate that you guys took a chance on me 10 years ago, and I look forward to then at least 10 more. I've got at least 12 years before I retire, so I'm happy to fill in this spot as your county building official / fire marshal. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you're doing that too, because you have grown so much, Deborah. I can't even tell you. I'm proud of what you have accomplished, and now that you're stepping that next step up, the public out there really likes you, and I think this will help us in our building inspections and stuff, and being a leader of that group that goes out and takes care of all the contractors and stuff. So,
Thank you for the time.
Yeah, and this is such an important, with all the growth that's happening right now, we needed the right person, and you just shot to the top of the list, and so very proud to have you in that position.
Thank you, guys.
thank you so much.
Good day.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't see that, Brett. Any other public comment?
Oh, no, that was,
Oh, that's what you had it on there for.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just wanted to say that.
oh, no.
Go ahead and talk, bud.
So I just wanted to share this past weekend was the Heart Walk,
yeah.
third time in Madera County. Before, when it was the Heart Walk in downtown Fresno, they never raised over $187,000, which is a lot of money. It was a good event, but since it's come to Madera, it's always grown. This year, we hit, I think it did get over 360, so $360,000 this year.
Wow,
the difference really has been the Madera County companies
Participation.
and the participation that has gotten out. They've doubled the amount of participants that come in every year. I mean, it was packed out in Tesoro Viejo this last weekend. I wanted to thank Melissa De Silva for all her work here. Madera County itself, when our employees raised over $11,000 towards that $360,000. And the administration team, they won the best T-shirt. They had these cool Heart Walker T-shirts that were out there. So it was a great event. It did look, when you had it in that town center of Tesoro Viejo, we'd started it, just on trails and going back through the back. And then this year, it looked like you were in, Main Street America. People were just hanging out around. In years past, everyone they finish the walk and leave. And this year, people were in the coffee shops having coffee. Every single chair out on the streets was filled. We had the American flag on the T-Rex, and it just looked like, you were really downtown.
Did you walk a mile in high heels?
I walked. No, I've done that here too, but it was 2 miles, and I didn't take the Miracle Mile. There was a little place where you could take and cut off a portion, but I just charged through it. Me, Melissa, my mom, and Emma. And they had stuff for the kids to do. I led a dance party with the kids. They were all better than I was, but it was a lot of fun, and it was that aspect that when everyone talks about all this being a bedroom communities and different things, this was a community event. There were people from everywhere, and we even got to see Alvina Prakash. She came back. She's been really involved in it. She was she was an engineer too at Public Works and just moved back to San Jose because her mom was sick, but she came back for it.
Right,
so it was a good event, and it was fun to see all the Madera County faces out there. We represented really well. So thank you all for taking the time out of your Saturday. And Sean, you're not wearing your glasses today. Sean anyone could see him for miles around. He was neoned out. It was awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Good morning.
Morning. My name is Barbara Baker. I'm from Bonadelli Ranches area. I'm here today, by the way, I second that gentleman's comment on that. In God we trust. That's nice.
Thank you.
I'm here. I have some challenging neighbors. They have a very bright light. It shines right in my window. I believe this is intentional. I've talked to Rod King, and he said they are supposed to have a shroud around it. I don't see a shroud, and that this would be a building code violation. He also said to say that the Madera County Sheriff's Department, they have been helping me as best as they can, but their hands are tied. So the Madera County Sheriff's Department and the code enforcement can enforce this type of violation. So I'm wondering if there could be a code amended to make this a forcible action. I've also talked with John Ramsey. He said there is a county ordinance 18.88.060, but this is not towards residential properties. And with this county ordinance, the light has to fall inside their property. So I'm wondering if you can create an ordinance for residential properties so this neighbor can't shine this light in my property. And so this ordinance is for ag properties and not residential.
Ms. Baker, is it like a street light or floodlight, or what kind of light is it?
It reminds me of a strobe light, and it blinks hundreds of times per minute, and it's directed right into my window. I talked to a health department when I went to Visalia on Sunday. She's getting her doctorate degree, and she said this light can cause epilepsy. It can also damage your eyes. And I do believe this neighbor is doing it this is a direct light, and I believe he's doing it tit for tat. This box, in case you're wondering, is all the things that the neighbor has not done correctly. So I've had to call out fire department for fire hazard. I've had to call out Madera County Sheriff many times. I've had to call out environmental control. And I've had to talk to Kirsten several times, and just recently about an item issue that they have done. It still seems to be ongoing. I'm helpless. I'm pushing 70. I'm also handicapped. I'm by myself. And there are 6 of them against me. So I'm just wondering if you can help me.
Have you went over and just talked to him about all this?
I don't believe it would do any good. The last time that they did something to me, they accused me of, they have 2 very vicious, mean dogs. I believe they're bull mastiffs. And if you get up to the fence, they will take my hand off. And if they ever get on my property, you won't be seeing me, because they'll kill me.
Yeah, no, I'm asking, I mean, did you just go over to just talk to the family? I mean, just one-on-one, or call them and have them come over and talk to you at your place, so they won't be around the dog, to see if you could work out
It's
something?
better that I don't, sir, because
How long you been neighbors?
since 2009,
9 years, so, I mean, to get along with each other, you know, there's some rules that we can't do much about. I mean, we could look at that lighting deal, but I had a neighbor like that when I moved out of my house when I got my divorce, and I finally went over to her, and it was a lady, and I said, "Ma'am, we got to work this out. This is crazy." And we sat there for a while, and she even offered me coffee. I don't drink, so, but I didn't drink it anyway. But we worked it out, and I guess she still likes me. I don't know, but it was a lot easier than trying to, you know, do some of these other things. But I would personally, if I were you, I'd just invite them over. Or is there just one person that's really bad, or the whole 6 of them, or the man or wife, whatever they are, and just say, "Hey, why don't we sit down and talk about this? How can we be good neighbors?"
they came on my property at 9 o'clock, the daughter and her husband at 9 o'clock, and they accused me of trying to poison their dogs with noodles.
Do you feed your dogs?
I have an Australian Shepherd, and I keep him in the house. I'm afraid those other 2 dogs will kill my dog if they ever get out.
Yeah.
They already killed one of my cats.
Yeah. Supervisor Rodriguez.
It's better that we just don't.
Yeah. Supervisor Rodriguez has a statement.
Could we have the sheriff come up here and give us maybe some answers to what's going on, his interpretation of what's going on in the situation?
Thank you, Max.
Good morning, Jay Barney, Madera County Sheriff. Max, outside of the issues with the strobe light, I'm not familiar with the other issues here, and I don't have the immediate follow-up on that. I know we went out there in the evening this weekend, and it was scheduled for follow-up the following morning when somebody might come to the door. I know the deputies cannot make contact in the evening because of the dogs that she mentioned, and there was no way to get to the front door without dealing with these dogs. So, and they are large, and they at least present themselves as vicious. I don't know if they really are.
Right.
Well, the situation, if the deputies can't approach this property, this elderly lady, what are we going to do to protect her? I mean, look at all the complaints right there on that box here. We have to do something about this and find out what's going on there, because, you know, you got to take care of this lady. She needs help.
Right. Well, I'll look and see if they were able to make contact with her. I think it would have been on Sunday morning, but without, if their property is fenced off, if we don't have a actual criminal violation and without probable cause, we're putting ourselves in a problem if we go on their property. And then if we have to end up destroying their animals because the animals are attacking the deputies, the county's going to get sued, and there is case law that I think
Right.
we would lose. So we'll continue to work on it. I don't know the neighbors, so we'll do a little research and see if it's not something we can't maybe connect with them off-site.
Okay, Matt, you got something that?
Certainly, Mr. Chairman. I would just add, supervisors, that I will certainly sit down. I'm in the back. We can go over some things, and I'll sit down with her this morning, and we'll see what we can do on a code enforcement side of that aspect, too.
Yeah, and if we need to have like a summit between the neighbors at a neutral site, my office, and I can help facilitate that as well between you and the neighbors and try and get to some kind of understanding where, moving forward, how you guys can cohabitate the area that you're in. I'd be willing to do that.
Thank you, Brett.
Yeah.
I hope that helps you, Mrs. Baker. We'll see what we can do. So thank you so much. Any other public comment?
Thank you.
Seeing no more, we'll move to the consent calendar, item number 5. The consent calendar, you got any questions, board members? Seeing none, any from the public on the consent calendar? Seeing none, what's your pleasure?
Second.
First and second, David and Brett. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Max? Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes. And,
5-0 vote.
thank you, Sarah. By the way, everybody, Rhonda Cargill, our regular board clerk, she's the assistant board clerk, had an emergency. She couldn't be here, so Sarah's filling in for her. But what we usually do, Sarah, is the one who makes a motion, you ask them to vote first. Then the second is second, then the rest of us. Great job, though. You did good. And I forgot to note, as the people's here right now, we're going to recess at 2 o'clock and reconvene at the Arbor Vitae, whatever it is, cemetery located at 1301 Roberts Avenue for Madera County's 125th celebration. So we'll do that at 2 o'clock and go out there. If anybody wants to come, it'll be a fun event. There will be a bunch of grammar school kids there participating in the mock ceremony, and they'll be singing and what have you. So, okay, pass 5-0. Item number 7. Oh, yeah, no, we got it. It's not
Yeah,
11 o'clock.
no,
we're
there is
going
no
to 7.
public hearings.
Item 7, 7A.
Friends of the Madera Animal Shelter Spay-Neuter Program. Discussion and consideration of entering into an amendment to MCC number 11245-18 with Friends of Madera Animal Shelter in the amount of $100,000 for spay-neuter programs and authorize the chairman to sign. Discussion and consideration of approval of transfer of appropriations number 18035 in the amount of $100,000 derived from provisions for contingencies, appropriations for contingency to be appropriated to special payments, contributions to other agencies for fiscal year 2018-2019. 4 votes required.
Good morning.
Good morning. Kirsten Gross, Director, Madera County Animal Services and board member of Friends of Madera Animal Shelter. Sorry, Kay Rhodes, our treasurer, could not be here today. She's sick, so we apologize for that. We just want to show our appreciation and the incredible intestinal fortitude in these tough times to put money where there is a preventative effort and preventing unwanted pets from roaming the streets and causing harm and causing problems and a great cost to our county is really forthcoming and very futuristic thinking. So thank you for that.
Okay, any questions from the board members?
Yeah,
Frazier.
Looking at this in terms of where this is coming from in contingency, and this is something that helps long term. This $100,000 isn't given without much deliberation on what this $100,000 does. This $100,000 saves us money on the back end by not having, every animal that we spay or neuter won't create a litter of.
Thousands.
Yeah, and so it just compounds. And so this is that ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And I've seen the studies of what spay and neuter does, and I know I've seen what the Friends of the Madera Animal Shelter does with these monies, and that it actually goes to spay and neuter and actually doing something that's easy to put forward this to actually help us in the long run. I just wonder if in the future, if we can look at what it would be. I know a lot of different bigger cities that have populations that are growing have, these spay and neuter ordinances that require animals unless you get a breeding permit. So it still allows for breeders to be able to breed and do what they need to do. But I think if this is important enough for us to put $100,000 in, we should really look at an ordinance maybe later on bringing back to do a larger requirement of spay and neuter in our county. So I'm proud of the work that you guys have done and what you've done at the animal shelter, and I think this will go a long way in helping not just today, but next year, the year after that, and the year after that, in terms of lowering our not unwanted, no animal is unwanted, but the ones that
Animal population?
yeah.
So excellent.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, and that also, so everybody knows that we have added that to our negotiations with the city on our tax sharing agreement, and I think they should pay their fair share since they produce about 60% of our animal population out of the kennels, and they need to step up and start paying their fair share. And so hopefully with this, if we can keep doing this, we can get them to participate too, either match it or pay half of it or something. So I know it's on our table, and they know it too, because we brought it up at our joint meeting a couple of months ago, and we're gonna stick to that. I think the whole board is willing to stick to that. So thank you so much. And
Thank you. We'll have some preliminary discussion regarding the spay and neuter ongoing with the cities Chowchilla and Madera right now. So we hope to move that forward this upcoming year.
great, that would be really good. Any public comment on this item? Seeing none, what's your pleasure, board?
Move to approve.
Roll call, please. Max was the second.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Kirsten. Item 7B. Would you read that into record, Sarah, please?
Discussion and consideration to authorize additional compensation for supplemental duties pursuant to Madera County Code Section 2.60.310 in the amount of 7.5% per month for Eva Heidi Weichel.
Good enough. Good morning, Dennis.
Morning, Chairman and board members. This item here is, we have been received about 2 years ago additional what's called the Medicare final rules. One, I doubt they're final, but they are rules. It's a tremendous amount of administrative functions that we've had to take on, and we've had to hire a few additional analysts into our department. And what we need is a supervisor that oversees those analysts. But what I don't really need is another person coming in. We have one of our analysts who has just stepped up and has provided the different supervision responsibilities to this staff, and she's the lead of these projects that we have, and they're ongoing. It's not going to slow down. And so now we have kind of backed up and said, she has taken on these additional duties. We need to compensate her for it, and that's what this item is a request for.
Thank you. Any questions from the board members? Any from the public? Max?
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you, I appreciate your support.
Okay, 7C. That's a long one to read in.
Third floor expansion project. Discussion and direction to staff regarding the expansion of the third floor undeveloped area for office and multipurpose space. Discussion and consideration of approval of transfer of appropriations number 18043 in the amount of $85,000 from development impact fees, general government appropriations for contingency to operating transfer out capital project, 4 votes required. Discussion and consideration of approval of receipt of unanticipated revenue 18044 in the amount of $85,000 derived from capital project government center operating transfers in to be appropriated to buildings and improvements, 4 votes required.
I didn't catch the last two. Would you redo those? No.
Anytime.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Maria Miranda with General Services, here with Jorge Mendoza, our Capital Projects Manager. Before your board today for consideration is a proposed project to build out the undeveloped space on the 3rd floor of the Government Center. As your board is aware, the 3rd floor of this building was left undeveloped when the building was originally constructed. In 2014, we built out the 3rd floor to relocate Public Works and Community and Economic Development. Approximately 3,883 square feet of space was left undeveloped and was intended for future growth space. Infrastructure for HVAC, fire, data was all installed with the build-out of the 3rd floor. With the creation of the Water and Natural Resources Department and added staff, we were notified of a need for additional space for workstations and offices. Unfortunately, neither Public Works or Community Economic Development had available space to house the departments, so we began to look at the 3rd floor undeveloped space. The department has a need for 3 offices, workstations, a conference room, and a copy room. The remaining square footage.
Can you put up the PowerPoint up on? So that people can see what we're talking about too. Hey, Jay.
Here we go.
There we go. Thank you so much. Sorry.
Okay. The remaining square footage, approximately 1,700 square feet, could be converted into a large conference/multi-purpose room. Estimated capacity for that space with a secondary exit could be up to 150 plus people. The space would be designed to be easily converted into office space if a future need arose. Both spaces will require installation of T-bar ceiling, paint, flooring, data, and then tie into the existing electrical, plumbing, fire, and HVAC systems. We are anticipating construction costs to be $150 per square foot, which would put us at about $611,000 with construction contingency for construction costs. So here we have the before and after of the space. You can see the bottom left corner. We have the undeveloped area, just open space. With the proposed project, we would have half being office and the remaining half being the multipurpose space. So in summary, we are asking for direction on this project. Should your board decide to proceed with the project, we would ask that you approve the budget adjustments totaling $85,000, which would fund architectural services, project management, and advertising costs. We would be utilizing development impact fees for general government for these costs, so there would be no impact to the general fund. And we would return to your board following public bidding with a construction contract. Also, just as a side note, in the board letter, we do discuss a small project on the 4th floor. Following some internal discussions on budget, we decided to postpone that project, so we will not be pursuing that project at this time. And with that, we're available for questions.
Poitras.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for the presentation, and I agree that I think everybody agrees we need some additional space for our Water and Natural Resource Department. What I'm looking at is the cost, and I'm also looking at, I know that there's available space on the 4th floor, I believe, where Stephanie kind of hangs out now, and I have to believe that, converting that area would be somewhat south of $611,000. to accommodate the department. I know there's some offices already there and the T-bar ceilings in and so forth. And I know what the answer is. The answer is, well, they're not on the third floor, they're not accessible to Public Works, and we'd have all the synergy there. But, you know, so it's kind of like, okay, one floor, going down one floor, and then, you know, I don't know, I'm not able to really reconcile the additional costs just being next door when you're only like maybe one floor different if we did the improvements on the fourth floor. Thank you. Those are my comments.
Any other comments? I just can say that they're really stuffed in those little offices up in the fourth floor. I've been in almost every single one of some meeting with somebody, and every time we have like a Thanksgiving dinner we've had up in there, we have to really watch what we're doing because it's not really legal for people to go in there. So part of that cost is just not for the offices, it's also fixing that room to be a meeting place that we can have for more people. We have no room, only rooms we have up there, maybe we can put 40 and squeeze in 50, but this room here we could have, and especially when we have our department head meetings, it would be a great addition too. So I think it's a great addition to our third floor, and I think it will be well used. And that I'm going to tell you guys, this department, Water and Natural Resources, is not going to stay at that size. It's one of our biggest things that we have in Madera County. You got to remember, half of Madera County is have natural resources up in the mountains that we got to start taking care of, which we haven't in the past. So I think it's a good thing to do. Eric?
I was just going to suggest, I mean, we can certainly pursue either option. We could make this space on the fourth floor work. The thought process there was we needed a bit of a set aside. We do have county council that I think occupies 3 different offices there now. So it leaves us probably just the right number of offices, but then we get rid of any flex space that we'd have there on the fourth floor if things change over time. So that's kind of where we started looking at the third floor, in addition to the synergies, you know, the departments that would work together. So, but we could certainly pursue either option.
Okay. Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I think doing the third floor was one of the better things we've ever done.
Absolutely.
Getting staff here, accessible, saved a lot of money. I think it was a great project. I wanted to add that into the pot. There's a lot of misconception out there about that. And
it saved us millions
it was
of dollars.
Saved millions and continues to save money, and the way we've consolidated and what have you. My question would be, we anticipate this department probably to grow, and I would think soon, because the Sigma process is really coming to a head. We've got a number of projects that we're looking at for Madera County in the wide areas to serve unserved areas by water districts, groundwater recharge projects for arundel removal in the sloughs, projects to, I mean, we just got an enormous pot there of a potpourri of things that are going to happen. And given that thought, how quickly do we anticipate the need to grow beyond the fourth floor?
Supervisor Rogers, if we could put up the floor plan again that shows the TI.
There's the floor
for the
plan.
third floor. What that shows, if you look at the the version on the right, that they'll have 3 offices there to the bottom for the 3 existing positions. But in addition, there are 3 workstations for future expansion, and there's also a conference space that could be converted to workstations as well, and then they could use a common conference room. So there's ability to grow even within this design here.
Great.
Double in size in the number of positions.
Supervisor Frazier.
You anticipate growth beyond the fourth floor occurring rather quickly then?
We would anticipate, and that's another reason we started looking at the third floor. We're afraid we'd be at capacity.
Right.
Mr. Frazier.
How much of the overall cost is office furniture and outfitting that?
I believe it came in at, I think, 40,000 or less, because it was all brand new furniture. We can reuse some of the existing that we have, but I think the budgetary number, we came in at 40,000.
Because I know that, like, when we were moving Department of Social Services, and it was going to cost them so much to tear it down and set it back up, is there any way that we could, and they weren't able to get really anything on the open market to sell that, can we utilize some of that furniture and at least bring it down by 40,000 or whatever
Correct.
the cost to?
Yeah, so that's one of the options. Right now, in our preliminary estimate, we included new furniture, but we could definitely look at different options of reutilizing furniture.
We got that storage someplace, we should use it up.
Correct.
Yeah, and I know that Deborah was looking for anybody that would want to buy it, and
Yeah.
if we need it, why wouldn't we use it? So
That's definitely an option.
Mr. Fortress.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just another question on the fourth floor. How much in the way of square feet is there available in that open area?
Where the cubicles used to be, or with the available office space?
Well, maybe a combined available office space and where the cubicles used to be. There's quite a large area there.
So we have 3 offices occupied, and we do have some offices that double as storage space. We had a lot of county council files that didn't have a home, so we've been using offices to backfill storage space. So square footage wise, it'd probably be
Probably around 3,000, 4,000.
Okay.
Just open space.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm looking at, 3,000 to 4,000 square feet. That sounds like, there could be some improvements put in there with the conference room and some of the things we're talking about. Again, that would be, I think, at a significant cost south of that, and certainly we could find some other storage. I mean, that's kind of expensive storage, having those boxes in offices. So, again, I keep going back to that. I'm not saying that, I'm glad we've got this space on the 3rd floor, and it's gonna be utilized at some point, but it does sound like we've got plenty of space right now. I mean, if this is gonna be 1,700 square feet, and there's some available room to expand.
Okay.
Did
Frazier.
did you say that you needed that space on the 4th floor for county council?
Supervisor Frazier, at this point, we do use, I believe it's 3 offices, and then there's a conference room that's used by county council. They just don't have the front desk area staffed. They utilize the front desk from our office next door.
So where would they go if Department of Water and Natural Resources had to take up that space?
I think as it stands right now, there are 3 positions that could fit in the offices there in the 4th floor. But if they are going to grow, either Water and Natural Resources or County Council, if they have to pick up a position, there would be no
room at all.
You'd have to reconfigure, as Supervisor Poitras was suggesting, that open area next to it.
So this is something that will have to be done either with growth this year or next year?
Potentially,
Sooner or later?
yes.
And Chairman, if I may too, on the multipurpose space, it's going to be built in such a way that we can convert that to office space for public works and CED down the line too, because they're eventually going to have a need for more office spaces as they're building out as well. So it'll be a cheaper solution to build them additional space in the future if it's already built out for that multipurpose space.
And will Public Works and Community Economic Development, ultimately, will they need all the 3,800 or 883 square feet? Are they gonna, or?
No, we talked with both Ahmad and Matt, and right now, as of today's numbers, they're good with their square footage. I know Public CED has a lot of open cubicle space. So I think, and today they're fine, but I think in the coming years, they're going to need more office space.
So any investment made is really an investment in the future
Yeah, it
as
would save us
well
money in the
as
future,
the
correct.
present for expansion. Yeah.
Okay, no more questions on the board. Any public comment on this item? I don't see any. What's your pleasure, board?
I'm going to move to approve.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
You have a second. Roll call, please.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
No.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 4-1 against.
4.
1 against.
4.
It passed 4 to
Passed.
1. Yes. Yeah. That's okay. Thank you. 7D.
Discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution allowing the Madera County Treasurer to purchase the Rolling Hills County Service Area 19, 2019-1 Taxable Assessment District refunding bonds allowing and granting express permission for the county treasurer to purchase an investment maturing in excess of 5 years at the time of purchase.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Board.
What's
Tracy
your name and
Kennedy.
where do you live at?
Tracy Kennedy. I live in Coarse Gold, California, where my family homesteaded the ranch in 1892, before the county was put
You don't
into
look
play.
that old at all.
I know, huh?
Were
Is
they at
that
the meeting? Were they one of the standing?
oil of Olay?
Yeah.
I bet there was somebody there
I
that
bet you there was.
was part of my family. Anyway, what is before you today is more ongoing resolutions on the Rolling Hills refunding, which is a refinancing. As you know, we are been working on making the Rolling Hills a privately owned water system. And so I have offered to purchase the bonds that will save the district a little bit of money, and plus it's priced right, so it'll be good for the portfolio. Our portfolio stands about $400 million right now, so I can easily absorb the $2.7 million. This will be similar to what we did for Bass Lake. As you'll recall, we purchased those bonds through the PFA, and so it was good for the district, and it's good for the pool participants as well. The reason we're here before you today is because in order to go out over 5 years, you know, I am limited to maturities of 5 years. In order to go over 5 years, I have to have express board permission to go over 5 years. So it's a municipal debt, it's allowed by code, and that is why we're here today. We want to get out, make sure that we have a lot to do. We have a big calendar that we have to still fill in and do. But that way, when we do the defeasance, the bond call, and the reissue in March, the treasurer will be ready to go.
Perfect.
So, there's any questions?
Supervisor Frazier.
Yeah, I obviously this one needs to happen, and I appreciate you stepping up to do this. I think it's, like you said, it's good for the pool. It's good for the cost of issuance, which can pay down part of the debt from the district, and I just think it's kind of a win-win-win.
Yep.
It is, it really is. You know, in 2012, we kind of began looking at things like this, and I'm just kind of following up a little bit. Placer County, they're a big one about investing in your own county, doing what you can to invest in your own county. On the, and they're quite a bit bigger than we are, but I think the theory behind it is
Still the same, yeah. It's,
Any other questions for the board members? Seeing none, public comment. Anybody from the public got anything to talk about this item? Seeing none, what's your pleasure, board?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a first, second. Roll call, please.
Rogers.
Dave.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you so much. Thank you,
Great.
Tracy.
Thank you.
7E.
Thanks, Tracy. Tracy.
MD-10A Madera Rancho's Water Storage Tank and Booster Pump Project. Discussion and consideration of entering into an agreement with Wood Rogers Incorporated in the amount of $263,802 for professional engineering services and authorize the chairman to execute the agreement. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Public Works Director to issue the notice to proceed in accordance with provisions of the contract. Discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the auditor controller to issue payments for contingencies up to 10% of the total contract award amount per established county policy. And discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Public Works Director to solely issue and approve contract change orders in accordance with the Public Contract Code not to exceed authorized contingencies.
Mr. Ahmad, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Ahmad Al-Qiyat, Public Works Director. This here is an award of a contract for design phase for the Dublin Well site to install the 1 million gallon tank, booster pumps, and all the improvements that are needed at this site. Now, this is part of the whole consolidation project between MD10A, Valentine Ranch, and the Golden Valley Unified School District. Within this grant that we received from the Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, one part of these funds were to reimburse us for the connection fees. And within those connection fees, we're able now to expand the design and move forward with installing the 1 million gallon tank and all its necessities. So I'm here for any questions.
Good job, finally getting it done.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Frazier.
Yes, well, one, I think you just answered my first question, making sure that this is paid for with the connection fees that came in, so that's good. Is this tank going to fit with all the solar that's now at the Dublin Well site, or is this going to be on a different site?
No, it will be on the same site. Yes, the solar is there, but when Maria approached us, we make sure that we can accommodate our 1 million gallon tank rather than two. I mean, it was designed for 2 tanks, but of 500, I believe, initially.
Yeah.
Now we can go with 1 million, and it should fit no problem.
So that'd be a pretty large tank, though, right? You're
Yes.
going to be able to see it from everywhere.
Depends on the diameter, yes. I mean, not sure of the length, the height of the tank at this moment.
Just remember I said that.
Yes, I do.
But beyond that, this is just absolutely amazing to be able to have this. There's been no storage. It's basically on-demand pumping all the time. We're never able to capture the lowest rates of PG&E in the evening. This is something that has been asked for forever. I thought it was a very creative way because we couldn't have it as part of the overall project and the connection, but then to figure out a way to do through the connection fees and get this much needed piece of infrastructure in for MD10A was a stroke of genius from Public Works Department, and I really appreciate you guys thinking about that so I can take credit for it.
Sure.
But yeah, this is amazing. So time frame, when do you think that we'll actually have a
The
tank?
schedule, I think I have the schedule here.
And when do we go out to bid for the actual construction of the tank? Those are my only 2 more questions.
Here's my schedule. So this is, again, so it should be done by July of next year. So starts and then, tank and booster pump station construction support. So construction will start in July of 2019.
Oh, so it won't be done, it'll start, construction will start.
Basically, yeah. So this is all the design phase, and then we're going to go out to bid. Assuming
put 'em on a
we'll give
time
it 2
limit
months
on-
before July. So in the late spring, early summer, we'll go out for a bid on this project.
Good, we'll get it in right in time for winter.
Yes.
You can put a little time on them, on these bids here to get them a little quicker, okay?
We'll do.
Yeah.
We'll do. I
As
mean,
we
I'm
can.
looking at we will start in January. The work will commence soon after.
Why not start right now?
Yeah.
We can.
Let's start
But this
right
is
now.
the schedule that was given to us. We could always modify it. This is assuming worst case scenario.
Yeah,
I would assume.
let's up it wherever we can find some.
Absolutely. Hopefully we can
You
get it done
found the
before
money for
summer.
our bridge on 200 too, right?
Oh.
I don't know a bridge on 202. There's one on 200.
Supervisor Rogers.
Ahmad, I don't know if I heard it or not, but is this elevated?
Correct. It's
Okay.
above ground.
Kind of like, well, I mean, elevated.
No.
No, not like a
Oh, no,
water
no.
tank. No, no,
No,
it'll
it's
be.
just that tank.
Yeah, that's something that I really like the idea of in the future. I know that tanks that are elevated are unsightly, but there's an advantage to the pressure that creates by gravity feed. The one that Valley Water put in, you're familiar with that tank, and that's nearly done.
How big though?
It's huge. It's
Million
very
gallon?
big, yeah. It's a big tank.
It's a 1 million gallon.
Yeah, it's a 1 million gallon tank, and it's, they're
Cost
gonna
sure
pump it
goes
up
up
at
there.
night, and the gravity feed alone is going to save the money, save district money, and
It's true,
create
especially in
good
flats.
pressure.
It does.
Pipe's gonna hold that pressure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any more questions from the board member, any from the public? Seeing none, what's your pleasure, board?
Second.
Oh, move to approve.
Okay.
Thank you.
I already seconded it.
Oh, yeah,
You
sorry about
seconded
that.
it before.
I seconded because I knew you wanted to make the
Yeah,
motion.
I appreciate that.
Smart thinking, Rob.
Not that this matters all
Roll
that.
call,
Sorry, I'm
please.
deaf, man, I didn't hear you.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Wheeler?
Maybe.
Motion passes 5-0.
That's a big
Okay.
deal. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, no
That's a
kidding.
big deal.
That's, boy, I've been working on that since I've been elected, I think. Item 8, pending legislation. Anybody got any pending legislation?
No, sir.
Am I? Oh, Jay, she's looking for you. Okay, supervisor and staff reports. Mr. Rob. Mr. Max.
Nothing to report, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Dave.
I attended the San Joaquin Valley Regional Conference for supervisors, along with you.
Yep.
Again,
Brett?
just thank you for that last item. That was,
Okay. I attended that too, and we had made some changes the next day at the organization meeting. And I think they're going to be positive, and I won't go over them now to take time, but it was a great meeting and I learned a lot of stuff. And one of the things I sent out to our staff was the incentive program that they've adopted in San Joaquin County. And I think that we got to really look at that because it's something that they've attracted so much business this last 5 years. You remember 5 years ago, they were going bankrupt, Stockton. They are moving and motivating right now, I tell you, it's amazing. So anyway, I brought that and sent it to staff, and we'll be working on that. So Eric.
I wanted to show everyone the picture of our award-winning T-shirts. And there's our team
Oh,
from
man, those are good looking. Who designed those?
Internally, we had them, everyone had input into the
Wow.
shirt.
Cool.
So,
And you won first place?
we won first place.
I see Joel's glasses there.
Yeah, and there's,
Oh, yeah.
no, Sean's
Or
glasses.
Sean, I mean, yeah.
Sean, yeah. Cool. That's neat. Okay, Regina.
I'll have a report for you next week, on the 20th.
Oh, okay, next meeting. Sarah? Nothing to report. Okay, what we're gonna do now, we're gonna adjourn till 2 o'clock, and we're gonna meet out at the cemetery on 1301 Roberts Avenue, and we'll continue our 125th celebration with Bill Coates and his kids, and I'm really looking forward to that. So any of you out there that's listening to this, if you got a second, come out there and listen to us talk. So, thank you, everybody, and you want to move up that meeting we're going to have at 3:30 till, like 1? We could do it at 1?
Sure. I can send out an email for Chachansey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're taking a recess right now.
Huh?
We're taking a recess, right?
Right, we're going to
Yeah.
go over lunch.
1? Does that work?
That works for me, so then I get a doctor's appointment in the school.
Huh?
So that's perfect.
Okay.
We'll come back at 2.
I was gonna go to try and get in early over there.
We're free until 2 o'clock.
Right, yeah. Yeah, but we're going to go to lunch now, but we're going to have another meeting internally that we got to have. So, thank you, everybody. Mr. Ahmad, you take off? He take off? Oh, there he is. Come here, boss.
We discussed it on Friday with Sheriff Calvin in our regional meeting.
Yeah.
So now